Welcome to the Site Cabin Podcast, episode 15. Episode 15.
Yeah.
Where have you been? Where have you been? Where have you been? Where have you been?
Nemanja Vidic number.
What is?
Was it?
Was it 15?
Was it 15?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were 15.
Was it really 15?
I think it was.
Paul Scholes was either 22 or 20, wasn't it?
No,
He wore 18, and then when he came back, he wore 22.
So the song, Nemanja, whoa, he comes from Serbia, he'll fucking murder ya. He never really liked that song, apparently.
That's the
You know what's
respectful.
weird? There's a guy in the NBA right now who's from Serbia, and he wears the number 15 as well.
Did they sing a song about him murdering people as well?
Probably, but
I mean,
and he looks a lot like Vidic.
I think if I was like working on a construction
Maybe there's something
site,
about that number.
if I was working on a construction site and like the people walking past would randomly sing a song about my performance on the building site, I'd stand up and kind of like, yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah, but that the murder thing, that's must have even been a defender, isn't it?
Yeah, I
It's
think
like
that's
like a term of like getting on,
Yeah.
stuck in.
Yeah,
And there's a few football players like that don't really like the songs they get.
yeah. I mean, surely you'd be happy that they're singing a song about you.
Yeah, because if you're not, you're shit.
Well,
Yeah, or you just
is that
passing-
true, or is it just that your name doesn't quite go with a kind of song type?
Well, David De Gea's was just David De Gea.
Yeah, which is rubbish.
Yeah. It's just his
And
name.
Scott McTominay's at the moment is Scott McTominay. It's like, oh, come on. It's just garbage.
One of my favourites was Carrick's.
Stretford End, work harder.
Carrick had a great one.
Ho, ho, ho.
It's Carrick, you know.
what? He actually owns quite a big, decent building firm.
Michael Carrick does.
Yeah, he's partners
Really?
in.
Does he really?
So I met somebody who worked for him in the job that I do, and he works directly for Michael Carrick.
No effing way. So he's like a partner in a...
No, he's a part owner, and apparently Michael Carrick is heavily involved.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And it leads me on to what we were going to... I know we've made some notes and stuff, but Geordies.
What about them? Geordies.
Careful.
Geordies in construction.
Don't be upsetting them, Daniel.
No, I'll upset everyone else. Cockney's terrible. People from
Danny.
Manchester, moody.
We're from Manchester.
But people from Birmingham, thick.
Danny.
You can't say that.
Danny.
You can't
But
say-
Geordies are the best in construction.
Whoa.
Bloody hell, you just
What?
got big.
You've
big
got to
fan
back
base
that up
there.
with something. So why are the Geordies the best in construction?
Because they just, like, I met some lad the other day and he was called Paul.
Why,
His
aye,
name
man.
was Jordan. And he went, oh, everyone calls me PJ. And I was like, straight
PJ?
away, like,
Brilliant.
PJ Duncan. And he was like, aye, I'm a Tyler.
Yeah, but are they? Have you seen that they're more skillful? Are they more
I wouldn't
neater?
say
Are they?
more skillful. I wouldn't say more skillful, but they're, you know, like whenever you try to set a job up or you're working with someone, whether it might be in the job role that I do now or like you're just talking to somebody in to set a job up with Jordan,
I'm sorry for
it's
laughing.
just done. It's just like dead friendly
They're a bit
approach.
more organised.
They're a bit more organised. Where you go in Manchester and I was like, oh, fucking hell. Like, or Birmingham, they like, don't even know what
That's
day it is.
basically us.
And
Yeah.
Cockneys, they just, it's all about money.
You've not mentioned the Scousers.
Well,
What about the Scousers?
well, they
What's-
just rob everything.
I've got every scout I've
I'm
ever worked
from
with, I've
Manchester,
always
and
got
I
on
don't
with
like
Scousers.
builders from Manchester.
Just remember what we said about talking over each other, guys.
yeah.
Remember what we said
What do you
about
mean?
that?
What do you mean? Oh,
the
right.
rule for talking
Dave,
over each other.
Dave gave
I
us some
set
lessons before.
some rules before we started the podcast today. I set some rules. So, Geordies are the best construction people in your opinion.
Just nice to deal with. Really, really like them.
And so in about, I'd say 30 second slot, you have wiped out half of our fan base.
Yeah, well,
Which is fine.
90%,
It's
90%.
fine.
Improve then.
It's banter. It's said as a joke.
I've said it. I'm from Manchester, and people from Manchester just seem to put an awkward head on when you want them to do something in whatever trade it might be.
Yeah.
But people in Newcastle, no matter what trade it is, they're just like dead friendly, and they're just like, oh yeah, we can sort that out.
I
Yeah,
like
we'll
it.
Get that organised.
I
Don't
like
worry
it.
About it. That's it.
I think I know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask you all. Internationally, who are the best builders internationally?
Well, we are.
Do you think? Do you think so? Do you think UK?
Yeah. No, because I'm just completely biased.
Yeah, that's fine. We're allowed to be that.
The Egyptians, though, they've got some form, haven't they?
I like the Italians.
You like the Italians? Are they not just
yeah.
lazy though? The Italians.
Hey.
Hey, Mario. Hey.
Well, Mario and Luigi. Exactly.
The best plumbers. The
plumbers
two
in the
best
world.
plumbers, Mario and Luigi.
Yeah.
Do you mean like the actual, like talking about the architecture and
I
stuff
just
like that?
I think
No,
their skill level is up here.
I thought you were going to say, when I asked that question, I thought you would say the Germans, because people always say the Germans.
Boring shit.
Boring.
Just boring.
You're not feeling the Germans?
No, it's like efficient, like they always are, and it will work and it will last. But it's not boring. Whereas Italians, there's just something about the finesse they put into everything. There's a flair to it, and it's just like their buildings and their the way they do things, the way they work.
Kind of
like
an Italian tiler,
I know
an
who
Italian
I like.
plasterer. They're just better.
Yeah.
A painter, an Italian painter.
I kind of know what you mean. I suppose. Yeah, I get it. I get it.
I know who I
And to be fair,
What about the Americans?
they just fucking nail gun everything, don't they?
They'll.
That's a great
Danny's on the attack. Danny is firmly on the attack today.
I do like the Japanese.
Oh yeah,
so
good
efficient.
shout,
I do
yeah.
when I'm like work, but what I like about them is, and you see it a lot in their culture and everything. If they see someone else doing something that they like,
Yeah.
they don't. It's not that they copy it, but they like go, "Oh, that's we'll take that.
Yeah.
But we'll try and make it better."
Yeah.
Like they do
Technology.
with cars,
Yeah.
or with their buildings, or like
Yeah.
with anything. And I like that.
Have you noticed that after a natural disaster as well? Is that there'll be a picture of a road that's disappeared completely, and then it's back within 2 fucking days or something. The whole thing's all been repaired and all kind of. There's been a giant river swept through it,
They're
but
ready for these.
yeah.
things, aren't
Yeah.
they?
So that's an interesting start to the podcast. That Danny's attacked basically 2/3 of the UK and most of the world.
Third of the world.
About a third of the world, at least. Yeah.
Start.
Yeah. So, welcome to the Site Camming Podcast. We're back. We've had a 4-month absence. What have we all been doing? Where have you been, Daniel? What have you been up to?
Been working in Newcastle a lot.
You've been working Newcastle a lot.
Give me a lot of work. So.
Danny's fell in love with
I
Newcastle.
love Newcastle. Been
It's a great
working a
night
lot. Christmas break, winter break.
Interesting fact about Newcastle.
Go on.
The first ever Greggs was opened in Newcastle.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yeah.
Should just be known for that alone.
I mean,
shouldn't it, really?
yeah,
Could
If we're
be.
talking about diets,
Legends.
Yeah.
they're bottom of the list.
The bottom of the list for diets.
I like Greg's though. I think
I adore a Greggs.
But they are.
We've talked about Greggs many occasions. In fact, Greggs should start sponsoring us.
Yeah.
Why aren't you, Greggs, sponsoring us? so 4-month break. You've been to
Doing
Newcastle.
a lot of work on the house.
A lot of work on the house.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm right in saying you built a media wall.
Built a media wall in the house. Did some paneling around the fireplace. Done my children's rooms. Used a bit of IKEA. Love IKEA.
We love IKEA.
Yeah, I mean-
Do we like IKEA?
Yeah, amazing.
As construction individuals.
I've done the typical, like, I'm a joiner. Don't worry, love. I'll build it.
I'll sort it.
Then you go to IKEA and you think, it's
gonna
just get that.
It's going to cost you.
And then, been working on the house, been busy, got plasterers coming round.
Decent.
By the way, did you think your TV fits in your room all right?
What's too big?
TV.
What is? Your TV's too big for your media wall.
For the whole house. Bigger than my house.
I mean, so I hope you don't mind me saying. So you live like in a kind of 3-bed semi.
3-bed semi in the peaks.
So and you've got like a front room and a back room.
Yeah.
And where's the TV? Is it the front room
It's
and
in
the
the
back room?
front room, but what we,
And it's too big.
I bought a 65-inch TV because you've got one. And, but your house is bigger. And then I bought it thinking, well, it looks good. I like the size. And didn't put, and it was on offer at Christmas.
Yeah. I should say at this point that at about 7 p.m. Christmas Day night, you were measuring my TV with a tape measure.
Well,
he was measuring my TV to see if.
I might get onto this later about TV and Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Oh, basketball, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we're on it now.
Oh, let's talk about it. Let's just go. Let's just talk about it.
Basically, the reason is I was measuring it on Christmas Day because it's Christmas Day. We had it was lovely family. It was amazing. Got to say, it was a brilliant meal.
good.
Shout out to Sarah there. Thank you.
Massive shout out to Sarah. It was a great meal.
It was a brilliant day, and we all loved it. Everyone was there and had a great family day. But right then, we had all the Christmas meal. We had some wine and beer. It was great. Played a few games. And then when, that part of the evening where you're like, oh, just put like Gavin and Stacey on, or just put like Home Alone on. Fucking 2, 3, 4 games of basketball
Yeah,
on
Jack.
Christmas Day.
Jack.
It was about 8 games.
Jack made us watch a game of basketball on Christmas Day night, basically.
It was
We
the
were
least
distracted.
game. It was
We
the
were
least
distracted.
Christmassy thing I've ever done on Christmas Day.
ever experienced.
Yeah. I was
we
like,
were
I can't
distracted
believe
and
we're
he
watching
slipped it
Saturday
on.
watching
Yeah.
basketball.
What was the teams, Jack? Who were the teams?
The
The New York Red Sox versus the
played the Bucks.
Yeah.
the Milwaukee Bucks,
Shit.
and the Lakers were playing the Celtics.
Oh,
'Cause they're the two biggest teams. So that's their United Liverpool.
Is that what they do on Christmas Day?
So that's
Yeah.
like that's like their big derby.
That's
for us,
their
it's
Boxing
Boxing
Day.
Day.
In,
Yeah.
okay, I see
It's
what you
Christmas
mean.
Day.
I mean,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong. I've not really. I actually like. I don't
But they
mind
don't have
basketball
dinner
as a game.
on Christmas Day over there. They have it on the Christmas Eve. So they've not got to get back home for Christmas dinner or anything.
Yeah, and the other thing about that, I just want to add to that, is that the Americans have their Christmas Day on Christmas Eve, but 4 weeks earlier, they've got Thanksgiving as well.
It's a big
Yeah.
day.
So
for
they're
them,
like
innit?
sick of turkey, surely, by that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to add that bit. Sorry to interrupt.
Two massive runs of turkey.
Why did they do that?
So you were saying Boxing Day, Christmas Eve.
Christmas
Oh,
Christmas
God.
Day's their Boxing Day schedule.
Yeah.
For basketball. And there's American football has one as well. I think it's Thanksgiving.
Well, what did they do on
Thanksgiving's
Boxing
a
Day?
massive day for football.
You haven't got one.
I think they go
They
back to work.
They don't really have Boxing Day.
they go
Boxing,
back
it's
to
not
work.
a bank holiday over there.
Fucking weird.
That is bad.
They have like 3 or 4 bank holidays the whole year.
Yeah, they've got one of the lowest in the world, actually.
Christmas Day.
Yeah, national holidays.
And then there's
Because they're always at bloody
Thanksgiving.
war.
We've got about
One or
8.
two
I think we
more.
have eight
4th of
Boxing
July.
Day, eight
Seven? No,
Oh my
eight.
God,
They look down
eight
on
bank
you if you
holidays a
take
year.
one
Got
holiday
Nine
over
last year.
there.
Got 9 last year.
9 last year. Thank you, King Charles. Thank you,
Queen.
Thank you, King Charles. And no, hang on. Did we get the holiday because the Queen died?
Yeah.
No.
Or did we get the holiday
Was that the
because
year
King Charles
before?
got coronated?
Jubilee.
Was
Was
it
it the Jubilee?
Yeah, but
No,
we got one.
we got one because she died.
No.
Yeah.
Did we?
Yeah.
I thought it was the coronation.
We got an extra day. We got the Friday off because she died.
That was the year before.
Dan, you do it every podcast.
No,
do your
it's the
No,
impression.
it was the year before. It wasn't last year. It was the year before.
No,
that.
Andy, we got one last year as well.
We got one last year. No, we did for the coronation. You're right.
We got
And the
one for
year-
the coronation.
We got the year
We
before.
got one for the
we got
funeral.
one for the
didn't we?
death.
Didn't we all have the funeral off?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I suppose
I didn't get an invite. I didn't get into
suppose
that
what we're
church.
asking is
We got one in the September, and then for the coronation, we got an extra one for the coronation.
Yeah. So basically, we're asking, can another royal die this
Yeah,
year?
yeah.
A high ranking? No,
He's
no.
in-
Or married.
He said he's in
All
hospital.
married. All married.
Yeah.
He's in hospital, isn't he?
Greatest royal family in the world. Sorry, that was my Donald Trump impression.
Hey,
Jack
it was
does,
big,
I don't
big,
put
yeah.
him on the spot. You don't have to do it now, but Jack does a brilliant Donald Trump impression.
Do it.
But
Do it.
It's got to cut out.
It's the hands out, the palms have to be out like that.
Hey, well,
Yeah.
it's
Palms
the,
out.
It's election year, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's election year. Indeed,
For
it is.
loads of people.
Do you think if he gets back in, he will build the wall? Do you think the construction industry in America will be successful and go and build that wall around?
Tell him to do it on fucking
I
Boxing
know
Day,
one
'cause
thing
he's
he
got
will
nothing else
definitely
to do.
do. One thing he'll definitely do. He will sit in the White House and he'll have McDonald's every day. ordering.
Build that wall.
He does love
build
McDonald's.
that wall. He does.
I don't
love
think he's going many for the wall this time. I think it's just to get back in. I think even he
just to win.
knows how the kind of comedy of it all at this point.
I think the beautiful thing about Trump this time round is because he's been indicted and he's been, you know, the great thing is, there's the impression.
He came to my house, the crooked FBI.
It's a beautiful impression, Jack. It really is. But the great thing is, if he gets to be president, what's the first thing he can do? Pardon himself.
That's mental.
How cool is that?
How can he run if he's been in?
No, there's nothing in the Constitution.
There's something about individual
I guess
states,
the
isn't
word
there?
wouldn't have
There's individual states that tried to stop him in their state.
Yeah, there's nothing in the Constitution. My understanding is, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but there's nothing in the Constitution that stops them having a convicted criminal as a president.
So when's the actual election?
No, November.
November.
About the first week of
So
November.
it'll all hype up in.
It'll be a mad year.
Well,
Yeah.
it looks like the UK will also have a general election in November this year as well.
Yeah, they'll hold on for as long as they
Yeah,
can.
it looks like we'll have a general election this year, which could be very interesting for the construction industry
Yeah,
in the UK.
always is,
So kind of the general theme of the episode was really not really a theme today. It was just we've just decided to kind of
Catch up.
New year.
new year, new us. We only managed 2023. We only managed 4 episodes, and there was 4. Yeah, and there was lots of different reasons for that.
Yes.
Lots of different reasons. There was lots going on in all of our lives and stuff, and we found it difficult to sort of commit. But we're not letting it go. We're like a dog with a bone, so to speak. We're still doing the podcast. We still will be doing the podcast, and we're going to try for 2024 to do as many times, haven't we, over the years?
Game on.
So Andy, what have you been, anything interesting in 2023, or Jack? Anything you want to mention that you have been doing? If not,
No, just reading some good books.
A little
That's it,
older,
really.
a little
older.
wiser.
yeah. So Danny, you little older, little wiser, Jack. Yeah, how old are you, Jack?
24 and a half now.
Jack's the baby
Yeah.
of the bunch. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, because obviously you're not construction. You've been on an episode with us before.
Yeah.
And Go on, Dan.
Fascinating time at the moment, though, for Jack's industry.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, with the Red Sea.
So Jack works in like logistics, don't you, Jack? Basically, we won't name the company.
Freight for containers and stuff. Freight forwarding. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, Jack says yes or no to freight coming in and out of the country, and
He imports cocaine and drugs.
yeah, he basically imports everything there is from parts for Volvos,
Basically.
to you know the little plastic bits on the end of your shoelace.
What a massive truck container of those. Yeah, must get enough for like 50 years.
People get their Brussels sprouts when I say it.
To be fair, on the construction site, we need to do an episode on that, on how much everything's gone up over the last couple of years.
Well, we can fucking hell.
44%.
The cost of living.
Mental. I mean, just for materials.
Yeah,
alone,
the amount of
it's
times
crazy.
Freddos have been mentioned on this podcast.
They were 10p.
Yeah, we've mentioned that loads of times.
Steel's gone up 44%.
You're joking.
Yeah.
Steel's gone up
So,
44%.
like-
Working
an
on the
underline
house
or something.
just before Christmas, I
that's
may
right.
or may not have measured my window wrong.
Okay.
Well,
Well,
if
if
you're
you
doing
did,
it
if you didn't
20
measure it wrong,
years.
it would be an accident.
It was an accident. I wrote the 9 upside down.
Yeah.
And I panicked on the day and had to get an emergency piece of angle iron to cover my timber lintel, take it out, brick it up.
Right.
And
Panicked.
I spent about 2 hours in the steel fabricator talking to him.
Right.
Well, he did it and he drilled it all out. It's perfect. He sorted it all out. Good shout out to the guy in Chapel there because he
Shout out to
top job.
What was he called? What was his business called?
Can't remember.
Shout out to the guy in Chapel
There
that,
won't be many in
that
Chapel,
made Danny a lintel,
panicked.
an emergency lintel.
And anyway, when we were there talking to him about prices going up and obviously steel and iron and everything that they deal in has gone up 44%.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, but we don't make as much steel like we used to do.
No,
10,
so it's
20
all
years
imported.
Ago.
It's all imported.
But
So that's his problem. His import
I know
charges.
it's cheaper, but that's a bad thing for a country that don't produce enough steel.
What do we make though now? What do we produce?
Actually, high-end stuff, and it's more like
Farming.
sophisticated
We're
stuff.
quite good with influencers.
Yeah,
we make a lot of influencers.
A lot of those.
Are we influencers? No.
I don't even know what one is.
No. I think there's a lot of bullshit influencers as well, though, isn't there?
Earn some
I think.
fucking money though.
Yeah.
don't they?
I know they do. We should get an OnlyFans page.
Should we-
going.
is
I'm
that
telling you
that
now.
a great segue to the baked potato guy?
Well, it could be.
Spudman. Shout out to Spudman.
Shout out to Spudman.
I've been hammering the Spudman videos, and if you're watching, look, I want to go to Tamworth. I want to go and get a spud. They look amazing. You've had an amazing following. I know you've got a new trailer, which is involved in the construction.
Potatoes.
Potatoes.
And yeah, love them.
You love Spudman, don't you?
Love it.
Driving up to the podcast, I was telling Jack. I said I was the one that introduced Danny to TikTok because we
Obsessed with
started
it.
when we started the podcast.
Yeah.
But you're obsessed with TikTok now, aren't you?
I'm completely obsessed with it.
You know everything about TikTok now, don't you?
I don't know how this works.
You don't get this.
I don't get this, what we do.
Yeah.
How it gets there.
Yeah.
But I love watching the short videos.
You love TikTok. You absolutely.
It's just so many I love stuff like that though. I love Binley Mega Chippy. That was good.
Oh, legendary. We should come up.
Spudman.
We need some sort of like quirky catchphrase or quirky kind of like song or some. Do we not? Or actually, does that not just appear naturally?
Yeah.
You know, like when you're talking.
Yeah, the more hours you do, the more.
come up.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So one of the subjects that we thought we could talk about today was construction films.
Yeah.
So films that have construction within them.
Well, we talked about this. Dave mentioned an all-time classic for me straight away today, and I didn't even think about it. But when he said it, I was like, "Yeah, that's definitely got."
It was Baby's Day Out. I don't know if you've ever seen the film.
Where the
God.
baby's on the construction site.
I've got another one actually. Go on,
But
I've got
Baby's
another one.
Day Out is like this film where, you know, the baby they lose the baby.
Yeah.
And it goes out on all these mad, weird shit adventures just by crawling about, basically. And
Great.
I think somebody kidnaps it actually, and they want to ransom the baby, but it finds itself on this construction site. And have you seen it? Have you?
It
I've
goes on
seen
like
it.
pieces of steel, and it's just crawling around this little baby. I mean,
Yeah.
it's quite a dark film when you mention someone tries to kidnap
Actually, yeah, it
a
is.
baby that
Yeah.
is crawling. But when you're like the construction bit, it's like, it gets on top of the mixer, goes in the sand. Babies love construction sites.
Absolutely, babies on construction sites would be well. They'd probably cause havoc, but actually,
They'd calm everyone down.
yeah, they would.
Emotional support.
I know what you
babies.
mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. If there was like a creche on a
Oh, they'd love it.
on a building site. In fact, why aren't there creches on building sites?
Yeah.
Because there's fucking creches in offices for office workers.
Good shout, that.
Just get them a massive pile of sand.
Oh, they'd love it.
Yeah.
And then watch all the diggers. They'd just be sat there watching all the
they'd be
diggers
like that.
going past.
Yeah, that is a great idea. Have we just invented something?
That's invented.
That's our childhood.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not
That
being
was our
funny.
childhood.
We had, stuff, we were,
But Dad, what do we do now? Look, there's a big pile of sand there. Just go and play in it. Go and play in
Jump in
that.
it.
Just go and jump in
Jump
that.
off the extension.
jump off the
into
extension into the sand. I remember
It's one
doing
of the
that. It's a great memory.
happiest memories
Yeah.
ever of jumping off the extension. I mean, health and safety would have an
no
absolute
chance.
freak at that now, wouldn't
That's
they?
why they won't let it.
That's the problem.
No, he showed us, he said, what, you got to jump off the garage roof into that pile of sand? Yeah, he did it.
Just do it.
And then
and we were all like,
we just sank in. It's
oh
brilliant.
my God, this is
we did it
amazing.
all day.
And we did it all day. Whereas in reality, we could have all probably broke a bone.
Yeah, fallen off.
But it doesn't matter. Did you say you had another construction film?
Oh, I was thinking some of the Die Hard films, they've all got construction in.
Yeah.
Yeah, Die Hard.
The
Die Hard.
first Die Hard, the third one, because he's all through the tunnels and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Another one I did see on the list was Lethal Weapon 3.
Oh, Lethal Weapon 3 with the nail
Is
gun.
that the nail gun?
He's having the
Nail gun, yeah.
extension.
No, construction's
There's a
in every
guy-
single one.
No,
Oh, is
so
it?
in Lethal Weapon 1, he
he's
has
doing
his
his house
extension
up.
done.
He's doing his house.
In Lethal Weapon 2, I can't remember, but in Lethal Weapon 3, he buries him in concrete at the site.
Oh, no, he does. He does.
It's great, that one.
And then he said,
he's a
the
cock.
word- I
He's a
just
cocky
remember
cock.
the line he says afterwards is, see that, we can write our name in it afterwards. And there's a guy being buried.
really
He owns
cold,
a
isn't it? That's
construction
really
company.
cold.
And
Yeah.
then, even right, doesn't Mel Gibson drive like a dump truck on fire through the site or something?
Yeah.
Is that
Or a
really the
van.
end?
So I've just looked at another one. No, sorry, Danny. He does. He
Something
drive,
like that.
No, it's
A pickup.
No, it's a money truck. That takes money from banks. What's he called? What do you call it?
Oh, yeah,
Like
armoured car.
Armored car in
Yeah.
it. I'm sure it's that in it.
Can't remember.
Goodwill Hunting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's construction in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like
Well, it's what he
working in there.
works
Do you know what the
Right, we need
best
something a
part of
bit
my
more-
day is?
Oh, yeah, it's just,
What?
I
that's the
got
worst
his
line.
number. No.
What? No, I'll do mine first. You do yours after. The best part of my day, I pull up to your house, and just for that 1 minute, I'm paraphrasing here, I suppose, but I hope you don't turn up, you don't come, because you've got a gift.
I don't remember there being construction.
Yeah. His mate.
It's what him and Ben Affleck do.
But,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, he works as a janitor. He doesn't want to. He doesn't want to be recognised, but he walks around like a school solving problems.
Yeah, so- yeah,
But he don't want to be recognised.
Yeah, that's what Robin Williams thing. And he says, "Why did you choose to be a janitor at MIT?"
Right. Well, so the Robin Williams character in that, what does his dad do? He's a bricklayer because it comes out as the talking.
Yeah.
Robin
Yeah.
Williams' dad's not in real life, but in that film, he's a bit like he also beats the shit out of him when he's a kid as well.
But he's a bricklayer.
But he's a bricklayer.
I don't approve of that.
He's a bricklayer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another film. Let's have a look.
I've got one I can think of.
Oh, go on, Jack.
Don't know if it's if you mentioned Return of the Jedi.
I was thinking exactly
That's
the same.
the one. That's the
I was
film.
literally thinking
That is the
I'm going to say
film.
that next.
It's a big part of the film.
definitely-
Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. You are bang on. And
That's
but
true. Yeah.
literally the construction of the Death Star itself
Is the
Yeah,
plot of the
it's the
film.
How the
plot.
fuck are they going to build that in space?
Fucking took the time with it, didn't they?
I mean, they
There's
did
a
take
great-
the time with it.
It should have used the
in
force.
the film
Got it done
Clerks,
quicker.
there's a big discussion about did they use subcontractors to build the second Death Star?
well, it
'Cause
makes
was
you
built so
think.
quick. And really, did they murder all those construction workers?
Yeah, where did they all go?
Did they murder them all?
Yeah.
Were they all slave labour or were they self-employed?
Oh yeah, you could say that the alliance,
The Alliance
Luke
murdered millions of workers.
and Han and whatever. They killed a load of innocent workers.
Oh, so you mean as they blew up the Death Star, there was still construction workers on there?
There's cranes up there.
Some poor bloke just working away, welding
Yeah.
the Death Star.
The Alliance
and he's
blown
fucking
up from
bang,
the
I'm
inside.
dead.
Getting a text. What do you want for tea tonight, love? Oh yeah, I'll just have the
Ewok
usual
sandwich.
I'll have
Ewok sandwich.
womp rats and womp rat soup.
Are we eating
know.
an Endor or are we eating?
Yeah, and where are we going tonight?
Yeah.
Next minute, what's that bright light?
Bang, dead.
Wipe them all out.
Dead.
Or were they
Dead.
like
What's happened to his
were they
kids?
Empire workers? I don't know. How do you go? For
That's
that?
a great
'Cause
shout,
that's-
Jack.
That's
Where
in,
did
that's
he
in
live?
Clerks. Clerks
Where did
talk
they
about that
work?
film.
Oh, I would think the Death Star would have been big enough to accommodate all of
live
the
there.
workers.
Yeah, and the families.
Do you know what I mean?
Or would they have to keep it secret?
It kind of reminds me of the episode that we did about the World Cup in Qatar,
we talked
and
about
all the immigrants
Yeah, all the immigrant
that were
workers.
forced over to Qatar. Well, not forced over. Well,
They just pulled most of those stadiums down now as well.
oh, have they really?
Well, 2 or 3 of them were just like set up
They were
for the
container
World
ones,
Cup.
weren't
Well, they can afford it, can't they?
Yeah,
They can afford it.
Mad.
Yeah.
But it's supposed to improve the infrastructure of a country like the Olympics, so innit? That's what the whole point.
Why
So-
England should have, or Britain should have the World Cup.
Oh, definitely we should have the World
It's
Cup.
still a disgrace.
Sorry, just before we branch it, so did the second second Death Star improve the infrastructure of?
So hang on. So
Endor?
episode 4, A New Hope. At the end of that, they blow up the Death Star,
Yeah.
and it's a completed Death Star at that point, isn't it?
So
Well,
that's
no,
okay.
partly.
Pretty much.
So it's
pretty
already
much.
been built.
Yeah, just the extra
But
bits
They
and
were just
pieces.
finishing off snagging.
Yeah, they were
Like,
snagging.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Well, no, there's a
plastering.
big chunk of it they hadn't fixed, hadn't finished.
Was that
no, New Hope.
Oh, in the first one?
In New
Yeah.
Hope.
No,
Oh, yeah, it's a snagging list.
No, not the
snagging
first
list.
one. Episode 4. Andrew.
Sorry,
It was like
far.
getting a new build for
Sorry.
Barrett's. Like, it looks finished, but when you get in, there's
Yeah.
like bits of paint.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but there's that
Yeah.
big hole
Well,
in
I
it,
mean,
isn't
you know.
there? That big hole in it through the vents.
Yeah.
It's that-
Oh shit! That hole that they forgot that can fit a fighter jet.
They should have taped over or
Yeah.
something.
Please don't let anyone know about the giant-sized hole we've left for
have
the
put some
fighter jets to
insulation
get
foam in
into.
that, couldn't they?
Use the force.
Foam it, yeah.
Luke.
Yeah.
Use it.
Yeah,
Should have foamed it up.
Yeah.
But then in return, it's full
It is-
on.
Oh, it's just-
What is it, about 2/3 built, maybe?
Yeah, they've got
It's like a whole
the central heating working.
Central heating's working. The hot water's on.
Hot water's on.
They got the shield.
But there's no windows in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This fully
And it's-
operational
It's
Death
armed.
Star.
It's armed.
And it's armed.
What a film. Is there any more construction, any more Star Wars films?
Oh, they all end up as big supermoons, don't they now? Like the
Trying to think what.
Force Awakens.
Can't
like
think
that.
there's any more.
Yeah.
That's a great shout though, Jack.
It is.
Great shout. There's a lot of construction in that. Oh, here's a good one. The Terminal with Tom Hanks.
That's a great.
Yeah.
Where he does the coving.
Yeah, because he's
Oh,
actually
yeah.
no, because he's actually
Yeah.
should be actually qualified. So somebody has to be making something in the film or doing something in the film as a
Yeah.
Oh, so to be
film.
yes, I mean,
To be a
please
construction film.
Yeah, please add to the comments or if
Yeah.
if you've got a
In fact,
suggestion.
Castaway, because he's making stuff. in
Castaway.
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 Learns,
One of them
makes-
on there, the bridge over Uruguay. Kwai.
The bridge
That
over.
might
Oh
be the
my
ultimate
God.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a film! It was on at Christmas.
I watched it at Christmas.
It was on at
Yeah.
Christmas.
Yeah, I did,
They
yeah.
built the whole bridge. Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! They build the whole bridge and then blow the fucking thing up.
Brilliant.
What have I done? Oh God, what have
What have I done?
What have I done?
It's like on Christmas Day when you build the Lego set for your toddlers and then they just smash it up.
They
Right
smash
afterwards.
it all up right in front of you.
Yeah.
You spend all day building that Lego set, and what did he do? Great, thanks, thanks, Dad. That whatever,
And
thanks,
if
Dad.
you're gonna blow up a train bridge, make sure the train's going over it, so it's more damage at the same time.
Well, interestingly, what's the film? The World War II film, the Bridges film.
Bridge over
Too Far.
the
Oh, Bridge Too
A bridge too far. A bridge
yeah.
too far. They have
Bridge of Rayman.
they blow up some of the bridges, but one of the bridges
Oh,
Yes.
it's in
It doesn't
Holland.
go off.
It's
The
in
Ni-
Holland.
it doesn't
Bridge
go
of
off. Is it
Nijmegen.
Nijmegen?
Nijmegen that's across
Yeah.
the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Holy Mary, Mother of God. Holy Mary, Mother of
It's a
God.
great. That is a brilliant
What a
film.
film
actually.
that is.
That's the only film Dad's got Mum to buy on Sky, so you can just click on
Right,
straight away.
so another film for construction. The Great Escape. They dig the tunnel.
Yes.
The tunneling. They are tunneling.
That guy had
No,
like
that's
that
quite technical,
on
'cause it's-
YouTube.
Ventilation, everything.
That you like him.
Who-
Built like a tunnel in his house or something.
Yeah, he's good.
The inventor guy. What's he called?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Colin Furs.
Yeah,
Shout out to Colin
tunnels.
Furs. Oh, that channel is amazing.
very good.
He's dug a tunnel in his garden from his
bunker, shed.
from his garage to his he built a bunker under his garden, and now he's done a tunnel from that. But now he's going out the front, and he wants it so that his car can come up out of the
Like-
driveway basically and just
Like
appear.
the X-Men with the ship.
Yeah.
I don't know of any man that wouldn't say yes to that.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah. What is it about? What is it about us men and like
Bat caves.
Well,
and
man
stuff.
caves?
Shout
and-
out to Geordies again. Before Christmas, I went to see someone up there.
Danny loves the Geordies.
And it may or may not have been the person who owned the house may or may not have been one of the presenters of I'm a Celebrity.
Oh,
And they built this house up in a posh street in Newcastle,
interesting.
where Sherry used to live, Beardsley used to live, all
Yeah.
the type of the players and stuff. And they built this house, and when they reached the footings, they decided, do you know what? We're going to go down. So they dug in all the way down,
Beautiful.
right? Lowered the whole house,
Beautiful.
Yeah.
and they've lowered it so that the car drives in
Oh.
when you go in. So it's not lowered; it drives down in.
Drive straight
The back
in.
cave.
But you come straight out, and then there's a lift that goes straight. up.
Oh, God.
And it's like, but then there's like a gym, there's a cinema room, I mean, I've been in some. We've all been in some posh houses and nice. This has just been designed
Out of this world.
Yeah,
Perfectly designed.
Brilliant.
Is there a fireman's pole so if there's an emergency you can slide down it and get in the back?
No,
back
but
wheel and
I
go?
saw something I've never seen, and it was there was no carpets. It was just tiles.
What? Everywhere?
Even the steps.
Must be underfloor heated everywhere then.
Oh, 100% is.
Everywhere underfloor heated.
But are we
Keep it nice
talking
and
like
warm.
really top level tile,
high end?
high end tiles?
Yeah, I can't really. I don't think
gotta
you
be
can mention
careful
where
what
They
it's
were
safe.
taken from the pyramids.
I had to
They were
sign
that good.
something to say I shouldn't talk about.
Non-disclosure.
And he just talks about it.
And he's just talked about it to a podcast that's had 23 million views so far. Yeah.
Why are you, man?
Do you know what though? The interesting thing is about that is though that like we have all been in some high end stuff, and I've been in a few footballers' houses in Alderley Edge over the years when I've been in my construction duties. And some of them are lovely, but some of them
Shit.
are just like you do. And I don't mean the building.
Yeah, it's
I suppose
just
really
a
what I mean is like the decor.
The taste
and you
is
think,
rubbish.
what the fuck is that? Like Joey Tribbiani dog type thing.
Yeah.
Leopard skin print.
You know, and you
everywhere,
think,
all that.
what the fuck? What?
Yeah.
What the hell are you doing?
It's like who's designed it and like who's gone? That's a good idea. Well, it's not.
But ultimately, it goes down to I've got enough money and I like it, so I'm having it. Fuck
Fair
that.
problem-
play, it is their money, yeah.
Because I was reading about this, a problem that a lot of these celebrities have is that because the houses they build are so specific, they can't sell them then.
Yes,
They don't
Yeah,
sell
yeah.
them.
That is
I
true,
was
Jack.
reading
Yeah.
before.
Yeah, everything's like so.
Is it not Michael
Yeah,
Jordan? Michael
no,
Jordan had
Michael
loads of
Jordan's
problems.
been trying to sell the house he had when he was playing with the Bulls in Chicago.
Yeah.
He's been trying to sell it for years, like 12 years.
So why can't he sell that
spent
particular house?
millions
it's like
and millions
it's
on it.
so specific to him,
That you
and
can't-
it's kind of like it was built in like the early 90s. So the outside of it is kind of like it's all
It's
got
almost
like
designed to him.
like those blocks of glass and
Oh,
stuff.
right, okay.
Just doesn't look very
George
modern.
Best had that.
But a lot of
Yeah,
celebrities
he
have
did.
that.
George
He had a
Best had that with
weird-
Cheadle.
Yeah.
in a really
Yeah.
weird like look.
Cheadle Hume, I think,
Cheadle-
like on the border of
Cheadle.
Bramall, Cheadle Hume.
Right.
I think that's why
He's like this really square house.
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
want
So if
to,
you make it too specific to yourself,
if you want them to last, I mean, someone like Elvis, like everyone still goes to his house,
yeah.
but it's kind of like just a big
Museum, innit?
biggest house.
Yeah.
but he's such like a musical icon.
I bet that Michael Jordan. I bet he could turn it into a museum though.
But I think people suggested that, but it's like I guess it's like way out in the country.
out in the sticks.
Yeah,
like,
and he's moved he moved out of it years ago.
There's a guy I've seen who he's something called, I can't remember, I mean he's a pretty cool guy, but he's called like the Doodle Guy or something like that. And his whole house, outside and inside, is just full of doodles. You know, like when you're on the phone or whatever and you doodle something.
Yeah.
His whole house is completely full of doodles. How the fuck's he ever going to sell that? I mean, he might not want to, but he's probably not going to.
I tell you what I did do. Andy worked on it actually. It was about 4 or 5 years, no longer than that, 5, 6 years ago. The person we worked for decorated their own house, and their bathroom. I walked in one day and it was just these bits of paper. And I found this quite interesting.
When you say bits of paper, what do you mean?
Anyway, it was they'd got a master's degree and they
Oh, yeah.
wallpapered their entire so that they printed it off.
Oh,
and
that's
wallpapered
right,
the
yeah.
bathroom in the dissertation. Or
is that the one with the little wine cellar? That
Wine
we built?
cellar, yeah.
So that's a nice
So
wine
they
cellar.
made the dissertation into wallpaper.
No, they printed it off like
Right.
before off a normal
Yeah, and they
printer
just turned it-
and just got wallpaper paste
And it looked
stuck
good?
It on. It looked brilliant.
Yeah, was it? No, I
totally
think it was a
different.
doctorate. Was it a doctorate?
Doctorate, yeah.
I think it was a
And
doctorate.
it was totally. But the idea was that she said was, well, you know, when you're in the toilet and you just sat
to read. Yeah.
and you think, oh, what do I read? Well, I've put all my doctorate there.
Oh, yeah, I
And
get
kinda
that.
got
Yeah,
it, and
yeah,
she was
yeah,
obviously
yeah.
really proud of it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I thought, you know what, that is totally
Yeah.
different. And they wallpapered it, but they just
Yeah.
literally got it and just stuck it on like that.
What's your thoughts on that? On like toilet etiquette for like books? Do you have a book in your toilet for guests? So while they're
Not right now, but it's a great idea.
do you know what I mean?
I
Or
like to read when it helps me relax.
yeah, fair.
People have the phones, don't they?
People do have the phones nowadays. Yeah, I suppose they do. Yeah, I have a sign in my toilet that says "Rules of the house: Don't be a dick." Basically, that's kind of and a picture of Old Trafford.
Yeah,
Basically,
That's a great picture.
Oh,
That's
and
a painting.
I also
that's a great
have,
painting.
I also have a picture
Classic
of
one from the 80s.
the shop from. This is a
Legal
local
Gentleman.
Legal Gentleman. Yeah, this is the local shop for local people. We'll have no trouble here.
I do think, you know what, it's a bit old school, but a book in a toilet, actually, when you think about it.
Although, do you really want people to come into your house and have a shit?
No, not really.
Not family members, I mean.
There's a great episode of
don't think-
Seinfeld.
Well, even
isn't there?
family members.
I think it's weird.
You don't want that, do you? You wouldn't go to someone's
Unless you're
house and
staying
go.
over. If you're staying over,
If
and
you-
it's
Even then.
No, but if
Unless you have a
stay over,
guest
you've got to accept
bathroom specifically.
it. No, but I think it's weird when you
don't know
have
about
in
that,
somebody
honestly.
else's house.
Is
I
it
don't know about that. I don't think you can go to someone else's house for a visit or even a night stay
I think a
and
night
have a
sta-
poo
I
in their
think a night-
toilet.
I think a night stay is okay. I think you've got to accept it. If you give someone a curry, that's your problem.
Can you not hold it in?
No.
Yeah, and I'm not going to name the names, but there's a friend of ours who can only go to his own toilet.
Oh yeah, no, there is. Yeah,
Name him Lee. We'll love it.
Lee won't mind us saying that. Yeah, Lee can
There was
only
a rumour that Lee used to carry his own toilet seat around with
in
him.
his boot of his car. Yeah, he had a toilet
don't
seat
know
at
if
home
that's
and
true or
then
not
his
true.
own toilet seat,
You know.
and he couldn't go anywhere else but his own home.
Yeah.
Didn't they used to say that about the Queen for years?
Well, yeah, she had a toilet like
She had
a
a
specific.
toilet seat that was
Yeah.
carried around.
See what
like
I mean
how
about
the
royal
president
family
Harry's-
always comes back to this podcast.
Yeah.
The royal family always comes back to this podcast.
Brilliant.
I think we should invent a specific timeline of rule for going to the toilet, and it could be something along the lines of obviously number
you know
ones
what?
are fine, but number twos, if you're not staying over, it's an absolute no.
Talking about that on site, some of the states.
Jesus Christ! Some of the states have toilets
Some of
on
the
site.
states. I mean, some of the stories I've heard as well about, half a cement bag and all that.
Oh,
you know what
it's
I mean?
like there's a murder happened in the toilet.
Yeah.
Aren't they awful, aren't they, some of them?
Yeah,
Especially
sometimes
them-
it's just Beth just
You
leaving
know them
it.
temporary ones?
Yeah, awful.
And I
Because
don't...
you always get some animal or a couple of them who mess it up for everybody.
Well, there's shit everywhere,
They
basically.
don't know how to go.
Yeah, you think, what's wrong with you? What is actually...
floor.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, what's going on? Or is it like a deliberate thing to?
I mean, the other thing is, well, when you are working on a domestic property, and because people can be very funny about builders using the toilets as well, they can be really kind of like awkward and say, "Oh no, you're not using
go
my
to your
toilet."
own.
It's like,
I actually-
where do you want me to go then?
Yeah, but I actually do get that a little bit. I think it's weird, but,
But
I
where,
also
where did he go? If you're having builders at your house and you don't want them
get
to
them
use your
get them
toilet,
a Portaloo.
Okay, all right. Say it's like
That's
a 2-week
about
job. You get them a
500 quid.
portal
But then
Just
the
the
customer
hiring.
should pay for it. If you don't want them to use the toilet, the customer should pay for it.
for the portal. I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure.
Or just let them use it. But then
You've seen them
if you-
Jackass videos where
No.
they go to the
no,
portal
no.
on a crane and it's disgusting.
That's why I couldn't go to Glastonbury unless it was posh, unless you had loads of money to
Oh
go.
no, there's posh toilets in
I
Glastonbury.
couldn't just get no.
You can go with all the peasants, but you can also pay to go to glamping. You can pay for nice.
There's eco-friendly ones where you just throw sawdust down it. I watched a documentary on Glastonbury.
It's just been knighted
Well,
actually.
I think though, it's only 100 or so years ago when most of us were farming and whatever, and we'd move it around, wouldn't we? They'd dig a hole every 6 months, and
We've probably just spent 15 minutes talking about shit here, basically.
It's gotta be covered,
But it is an
though. It's
interesting
gotta be covered.
subject about,
Yeah.
especially about building, as in like,
that's the great thing about.
hey, it's not even in the notepad.
No, to be fair, that is
No.
the great things about being on site that's been established, because there's always a house that's been nearly finished off and everybody's battering the toilet.
Well,
aren't
I
they?
mean, back
Just
in the-
them they
back
just
in-
finish it
pissing
off.
down
I've
the
done that,
cavity.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
nowadays,
Yeah. You see them off, though.
99% of all modern sites have a plumbed-in toilet.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they're
back
pretty
in the
good.
day when I
No, like,
started,
yeah, but I've laboured there.
that was no such thing.
Yeah, you have to fight.
It was just where do we go?
What's the house that's nearly finished? Just get in there.
Just go in there, yeah, go wherever.
Yeah.
I mean, people have done their business in toilets that have not been plumbed in.
Now that,
Do you know what I mean?
stories
that is
about that. I
something
know.
I've got to think about. So I had a few words with somebody before Christmas. There's loads of finished houses on site. So I just went to use the toilet in it, just a wee.
Yeah.
Right? And the site manager went, "Oh, you can't use that." So I was like,
It's
"Why?"
plumbed in.
And he said, "Well," I said, "Is it sold?" And he went, "No." So I was like, "Well,
Testing it.
it's
Snagging it.
And he went, "Yeah, it's all electric."
Breaking it in.
So I was charging my phone in there. I was charging me in to use the
But he-
toilet because the house next door was no electric, no running water. So I was like, he said, "Well, use the site cabin." And I went, "There's no water on. It was all frozen."
Yeah.
Ah,
I
yes,
said, "I'm using the
yes.
toilet." And he was like, "Oh, right. Well, yeah, I just don't want lads going in and out using the toilets." And I was like, it's a finished house. It's no carpets
Yeah.
down, no finished
Yeah.
floors.
I get
no,
that, but yeah.
just use the toilet.
Yeah.
Not sold, so nobody owns it. Tough.
It is a tricky one because I'm just thinking about my own house where I live. Do I want? And I'm a builder. I'm from a building background, but do I want a load of rough ass builders or whatever
But you don't know.
in and out of my toilet?
You're not bought it yet. That's the thing.
No, that one, yeah. But I'm talking about like a job. Do you want them to
No, I don't.
sat there and they're on the toilet, they're looking at the phone and they're doing what they're doing? It's like,
It's a personal space.
Yeah, but on site's a different.
On site's back in the day.
Back in the day, oh, God.
Nightmare scenario.
Yeah.
Can I just go back to, we were talking about Michael Jordan's not being able to sell his house.
Yeah.
But something just occurred to me when we were talking about that. I think, is it Shaquille O'Neal? I might be wrong here, but I think it is Shaq that bought into the ring door
Yes.
cameras.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and he nearly-
So he bought into its early doors,
He bought into
didn't he?
it, and he
early.
nearly bought
Yeah.
into Uber. as
Yeah,
well.
he nearly bought into Uber as
he
well.
told about
Yeah.
because he like Dragon's Den sort of thing.
He's a legend.
He invests in
love
all
Shaq.
Guy's a
all
legend.
sorts of little
But-
little startup things.
But like Ring,
Not
I mean,
on Christmas Day, though.
Ring's
But,
massive now. Ring's also part of. There are some new house builders now that build the house and add security cameras or Ring door or a type of video doorbell to
I must admit,
the house.
we've we obviously we're doing the house up, so we looked in new front door and frame and etc. And I've been looking at thumbprint locks.
What as a front door lock?
Yeah.
That's well cool.
So you can just say if I wanted family members to look after the house while I was away.
You'd assign.
You can do it on your screen inside, put their thumbprint. So it's just a thumbprint.
so it's
Yeah,
Back to
what-
the Future too.
What about the old sellotape and super glue trick though? What about that? You have to wipe it every time.
Oh yeah, Back to the Future 2. It's in that, isn't it?
that's the thing.
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
Push your thumb against the pad. What pad?
on the pad.
Yeah. That's a great scene, actually.
Yeah.
That's a brilliant
Or
scene.
digit lock, so codes.
I mean, Digilocks, we've got loads
But
of
then I worry because you see these car thieves how they just sort of get a signal outside and
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah, with the,
Yeah.
Yeah.
maybe just a keys. But
Actually, that's-
In the end,
Range Rover's most
Speaking
stolen,
of-
most stolen car in London.
it is. Yeah. Speaking of construction in films, what about the real life construction that well, at least that did go on in films? Because for the Back to the Future films, they had to all those sets were hand built.
Oh, you mean like
great
oh,
shot.
actually, yeah.
haven't you? Danny's been on
Well,
a few sites.
I think we talked about this briefly in the
Yeah.
past.
Yeah.
There's my dad and brother, our dad and brother worked on
Coronation
Coronation
Street,
Street,
Street. Yeah,
set,
Mike and Dad did.
and then
yeah.
left the lolly sticks. And I think we've said
Yeah,
that
loads
they
of
left.
them did.
I was
left
on
lolly sticks around.
I think it's out this year. I was on a Sky set about 18 months ago for a joiner
Oh yeah.
and went to see him. He was working on it, and it's going to be a massive drama on Sky this year.
Do we know what? Drama?
Period drama, but it's going to be huge.
Oh, okay.
It's coming out.
They
this
always do
year.
appear.
Like Downton.
A bit like Downton,
Downton.
yeah,
Downton.
but Sky,
Downton.
and the set was unreal.
Unreal.
Yeah,
And that'll probably employ joiners and
everything,
Electricians.
everything,
plumbers, plasterers.
everything. Yeah, it was even a Thatcher on it.
Oh, really? Doing like a thatch
Really?
roof and stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of big industry. It's a great point actually, Jack, about how construction is kind of always like I'm doing that. Donald Trump. Greatest.
it has to be like half a second after you've actually said it.
Yeah, so you
the
say
hand
it.
signal's late.
You say it and then you go. Side Cabin Podcast, greatest podcast in the world. Greatest. Is that?
I walked around the other day and I saw this thing. I saw
I think that could go
the
viral.
Side Cabin Podcast. Great people, great show,
They will build the wall.
great work ethic.
They'll come.
Actually, talking about trades,
They'll come and build a wall.
Thatchers, I think they're at least 6 months in front, aren't they? Being booked in or to a year.
Oh, probably.
Oh,
yeah.
easily.
If you're going to go into a trade,
Easily.
one of the most ancient trades in this country.
100%.
But a Thatcher, I think it's like you're at least 6 months in front work-wise, or maybe a year.
It's
Yeah.
water.
It's
It's,
like-
it's water read, isn't it? Read.
Yeah, but it's like you can get 30 years out of it, 25
Yeah.
years.
But very, 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 very hard to get house insurance.
Really?
Because the fires.
Incredibly hard.
Because the fires.
My wife's cousin has got a thatched. Part of his house is thatched, and there's only 2 insurance companies in the country.
Yeah.
What Thatchers are us?
Yeah, you can't be in the
Thatchers,
vicinity of
Thatchers,
that
Thatchers.
house and sort of like having a fag and
can't
just
fight-
flick your fag,
Yeah.
can you?
You can't
get
fight-
shout
Shit.
gas.
You know what I mean?
They're not on Go Compare.
No, they're not. No.
That's a good shout. That.
No.
There's only 2 insurance companies in the
I
country.
hope it never goes though. It's a nice something.
Oh, it's
different,
brilliant.
isn't it?
It's brilliant. If you watch
Great
them do it,
trade,
I mean,
that.
I have seen it. I have drove past it.
Oh,
never,
yeah.
Seen a
I've
few
never actually
programmes on
watched it.
Yeah, I've seen a few programs on
Actually,
it.
I think Fred's done one where he's thatching into. I think he's done an episode.
Brilliant skill.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he has. He has actually. He did do
Yeah.
one. He went to a thatch and sort of interviewed him and stuff.
Yeah.
Different topic to want to discuss. Air fryers.
Yeah.
Now, hear me out. Hear
On
me out.
site.
Hear me out. Air fryers on site in a
Yeah.
site cabin.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what a difference they've made.
So they are. mesmerising.
Changed his life. Changed your life, hasn't it, Dan?
Change it.
It's a
Change
difficult
life.
situation, this, but it's probably saved our marriage. So
Probably saved a
Your
lot of
air fryer
marriages.
save your marriage.
they are. Now, the first person I knew who got one was shout out to Will and Sam, or Will,
Yeah.
who got us.
Yeah, the show.
They got us the Brazil.
Yeah,
they've,
our
they've,
relatives.
they've donated
Yeah.
a few things to
Well,
the.
yeah,
with
the
Jack,
Rio
didn't
de
invite
Janeiro.
Dave.
Yeah.
Didn't invite us.
We never asked
No,
Jack
he
about
didn't-
Brazil.
he didn't invite us.
Actually.
Yeah, Jack went, but we didn't go.
We didn't go.
We'll talk
Yeah,
about
he didn't pay for it.
Yeah.
But
But, he's the first person I used to go on about. I was like, what's he fucking
and a
talking
George
about?
Foreman grill as well. He had a George Foreman grill.
And he used to go. I remember our cousin Ian said, "Oh, we went round it. It was a steak, and to be fair, it was pretty good." And even Ian was like, "He's fucking talking about his fucking air fryer."
He keeps going on about his air fryer.
And he's got one.
This is Will.
This is Will. And then he kept mentioning it. I was like, yeah, bollocks this.
Will loves an air fryer. He's got two, hasn't he?
He's totally right.
Will's got two air fryers.
I believe. I'm glad Sam and Will will watch this, and Roy,
Yeah,
and all the
absolutely will.
Shorrocks. Will, I think, has now got two air fryers.
How
I don't know
posh-
who he thinks he is.
How posh is Will?
No, has he got the two? Can you get one
He's got
big
the-
ones with two?
like the dual one.
Or dual
Well,
ones?
I've got a
Oh, yeah,
Megazone.
you can do a
Yeah.
chicken, can't you, or something?
I've got an air fryer, Ninja.
They're amazing.
What about in the site cabin at dinner time, though, when you
should
heat
definitely
your
have
dinner
them.
up? You've obviously got your microwave. Get an air fryer in there now.
Nip in for half an hour before, get it going, and then come back in.
They
Oh,
use
wait,
less
20 minutes.
electric. How they cook it is superb. Quick. They're easy to clean. Shout out to Ninja if we can get sponsored by Ninja.
He wants a giant air fryer.
I've got a 10.5 litre one. I think it is 10.4.
Oh, dear
litre.
me.
They are incredible.
No, I've had like sausages, bacon, all sorts of stuff from it. They are, yeah.
Sarah,
Messing.
Oh no, we do love the air fryers. We absolutely love the air fryer. I just thought I'd mention it. We talked about it sort of beforehand about it changing the way the kind of the site cabin works. You know, at dinner times and stuff like that.
It would help though, because you can cook something dead fresh, dead quick, and they're just they're brilliant, and they don't use as much electric.
Well, there you go then. What's not to like about them?
No, that's another question about what's the best site cabin setup you've ever been in, or one you've made when you've been there for months and it's like a bit rough and ready, but you've turned it into like a
Oh yeah.
I remember one in Leyland, we ended up having the TV. We were watching the Olympics.
You're
all the way
watching the
through.
Olympics, yeah.
And these
yeah.
like toast, you gradually built it up.
Yeah, like
When we were
toaster,
working there.
microwave.
Yeah, they just little bits and pieces got added to it.
Yeah,
And it was
throughout
good.
the months that you were there.
spoiled ourselves, yeah.
Yeah, bed. Yeah, first
Massage
aid
table.
box.
Yeah, that's
eye wash station.
Yeah.
I mean, everything is
A
there
chair.
nowadays. Most of the big building sites
No,
now,
they do have stuff like that.
Some have had canteens.
a
don't
lot of
they?
them have canteens. A lot of them have canteens.
About time, really.
But that's no different than the fucking mill owners back in the day. They try to keep your money. That's all
Yeah.
they try to
yeah,
do.
yeah,
That it
exactly.
is.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. The shop. It's
Of course
totally
it
the
is.
shop.
They're just trying to keep your money. They don't want you going off site, spending your money off site. So they'll put a canteen on site, which they own, they run, they pay for, just like, all the bricks and mortar and plaster that you use.
Yeah.
They'll also pay for that. And they don't want you leaving site because
spend the money there.
Because you spend your money that we give you there so it comes back to us.
Yeah.
Do you know what?
That's deep, actually. I don't know if that how
Well, is that the whole global
I was going to say,
system?
no,
We're going deep
you know,
there.
It kind of
one
is.
thing I'll say is people in construction, more than I think than any other industry, and I'm a bugger for it, they love spending money on dinner.
Oh,
Well-
yeah.
well-
oh, you go for it. Well, it's your calories, though, isn't it? You're
you've
burning
got
those
to-
calories off.
Yeah, what's the best cafe you've ever encountered, or the best kind of
Shout.
There was a
That's a
when I
tough
was
one. That's
working
a
in
tough
town, there was a little soup place. I can't even remember the name of it. It was near it was like near Affleck's Palace, but they did
In
a
Manchester?
different- They had like a massive, in Manchester. They had a massive pot, and they just did a different soup every single day.
Oh,
But like
Just one
everything,
choice, just
like
one choice,
coriander and chili and
last
leafy
year
potato.
I was working
Beautiful.
in Collyhurst on a site in Collyhurst.
Oh, I
You
know-
went
I know-
to it,
yeah,
and
you
there was
talk
this
about-
like cafe literally round the corner, and it was I'm gonna say it was quite a rough area of Collyhurst.
Is
It
that the
was
one with
quite-
Les Dawson Memorial?
Yeah, the Les
yeah,
Dawson,
I know. Yeah,
and there was a
it's over
cafe around the
there.
corner.
Yeah,
And these girls run this cafe.
Yeah, it was great.
Oh my god, they had like this jerk chicken and stuff. It was absolutely
And-
insane.
And it didn't rip you off.
It was they were dead reasonable,
Yeah.
and it was unbelievable. The other one was we did a massive extension for a school in Flixton. I think it was like Flixton Secondary School.
Yeah.
And there was a cafe off the school next to a church. It was like a charity shop, but it was run by like these three sort of like old girls, old days, and they were all kind of like
But you shouted at one of them.
I did.
Yeah.
I did
Or is that
shout.
like, you're not going to rob us, are you? And all that type of
that's
stuff. 'Cause
exactly
you
what
look
it
like
was.
frightening
You're not
builders.
going to steal anything from us, are you? And we're like, no. We just want And I can remember one of the lads I worked with
That he
one day.
bollocked one of them.
No, it wasn't me actually that bollocked him. It bollocked her, and he shouldn't have done it. But he'd asked for ketchup, but he'd asked about 5 times for ketchup,
probably a bit deaf.
and she didn't bring the ketchup. It was like an English breakfast, like a fry-up. And in the end, he stood up and he was like, "Just give me the fucking ketchup, will ya?" And we got banned. We got barred. We got barred from it because of him. I won't say who it was, but he knows who it was.
So I've got 3. Right. So one of them is near Steppenwell Hospital in Hazel Grove, and they do signature sandwiches each day. It's the
Oh, I know what you mean.
Shout out to
Bailey's.
Bailey's is great.
The Christmas,
Superb.
the turkey one.
Yeah.
The turkey
They
one's
do-
really
they do a
nice.
sausage one.
Yeah, the Bailey's is good.
The other one is the Stop In. It used to be around here. I think
Yes.
I've told this
It's
story
closed
before.
down now.
Closed down.
Yeah.
We used to travel. If we were working in Eel Green, we'd travel to Stockport at dinner time.
Yeah.
I worked for the council at the time.
Yeah,
so I
yeah.
don't give a fuck. But we used to travel. get
Kebabs
down to
at dinner.
And the other one, it's a bit posh this. So I was in London last year and I was working at the East India Club. Probably shouldn't even mention this, but
East India Club. What's that, Danny? What
it's
is?
like
Is it like a?
it's a private members club.
Oh,
It's not
okay.
like we're going down.
It's not from the East India Company, is it? Something like that.
yeah.
Like
It's
the
like
trade-
200 years old.
Yeah. I worked in the basement there. It was just a building site then.
Yeah.
But it was a building
Right.
there. It was right near St.
Get
James's.
about, he
doesn't
does, yeah.
It was right near Buckingham Palace and St. James's Park.
Yeah.
Right near Charles.
Right.
Bloody pen.
Bloody pen.
If you like a sausage.
Yeah.
Sausage.
And so I was like, one, where can I afford to eat round here? And 2, where's decent? So couldn't find anywhere. So I went into this really like high class little like cafe and it was really like, artisan bread. And I thought it was going to be fucking shit.
Yeah.
Typical. I just want a bacon sandwich.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted.
Just give me a bacon butty.
Sat down and they were like, we can do eggs Benedict, eggs Royale.
Oh, for fuck's
He
sake!
gave me all the artisan
Right, give me
bread,
a
different
spiel.
types of bread. And I was like, I can't, mate, I've just been on a building site. I can't be arsed.
Just give me a
Just give me
bacon
a
butty.
sandwich.
Yeah.
They made these eggs
They're amazing.
Royale and it
Eggs Royale, right?
was like,
Was it?
they mixed it in spinach.
Oh, that's amazing.
Or is it unbelievable?
Too much though for dinner time.
No, to be fair, it was about 14 quid.
For dinner?
But no, yeah. But
it's like a meal.
but it was a meal.
Oh, okay.
But where you were,
Yeah.
you were like literally a road away from the
Yeah.
mall.
Yeah.
And I was like, but the food was like, but if you think about it, 14 quid. If you go to Weatherspoons,
Yeah.
or if you go to like anywhere
Yeah,
else,
you have a
you still
steer
pay
and
10 quid.
Yeah,
for-
true.
So,
Yeah, fry up in a
and this
pint or
food was
something.
unreal. It was,
Yeah.
it's probably one of the best site working day meals I've ever had.
We once were in Derbyshire. I'm not going to say where. We were working on a site in Derbyshire.
On Whaley Bridge.
It was Whaley Bridge. Danny,
Sorry, Yonderman's.
Danny, for fuck's sake, it was Whaley Bridge.
I live
don't,
round there,
Don't
so-
give any more away. So we're working on this site in Whaley Bridge for about 18 months.
God. Oh, I know this story. Yeah.
And the cafe was just about 5 minutes away. So we'd go there every day for 18 months, literally bacon butty, sandwiches at dinner time, and blah blah blah. And one of the people that worked with us ended up. Well, he was married. He was married at the time. But he ended up getting to know the girl, one of the girls that worked behind the counter, and he ended up getting her pregnant. To be, he got her pregnant, and
So he gave her a filling.
well, he did, but he got her pregnant in the back of his Vauxhall Corsa car at dinner times. I think that's where that baby was conceived. I'm quietly confident. I can't.
Don't say anymore.
No,
Don't say
I
anymore.
can't say anymore. Obviously, won't say anymore. I won't say anymore. But that actually was a really good cafe. Sorry, just as you were talking,
I know the cafe. It's near me.
is it still going?
Yeah, I think so. Actually, I'm not sure. There's one.
Yeah, it's on the
there's a
way to
cafe,
Chapel.
If it's on there's one on the main road. There's quite a few, to be fair.
Well, I'll tell you now, if there's a young lad or girl driving around in a Vauxhall Corsa about 18, 19 now, 16, 17,
Oh, that's a
18
nice
now,
car.
yeah, it's probably that child that we've just referenced.
And there's a few. I mean, there's a good chippy up there.
There was one.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
the one where you got angry at me though, and
Which one?
I got the wrong.
Is that where I threw a bottle of cherry aid at you?
I got the wrong cherry aid.
Oh, yeah. Have we told that story? We told that story, haven't we? No, I must have told that
Must have
story.
been another one.
No, I think we told the story before, but I'll just reiterate it quickly. But when Danny was working for me, and I sent him to to the shops to get some cherryade, and he got me like the cheap cherryade, and I wanted like the bar BARR cherryade, and it was a dead hot day, wasn't it? And you came back with it. I was like, what the fuck is this? And I threw the bottle of cherryade at him. He was only a young lad at the time, a little baby. It was me and Mike, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was shit cherryade.
It was shit
I'll give
cherryade.
you that. I'll give you that. It was shit.
Yeah. I think I don't want to repeat myself, but it's so hard to remember sometimes. But you've heard this, there's a story of where I must have said this actually. I must have said this about the guy who's working with an apprentice, and he says, go to the shop, gives him 20 quid, go to the shops, get me some chips and meat pie or something like that, and get what you want. Gives him 20 quid, get what you want.
Oh, no, go on.
So he comes back and he goes, there's your meat pie and chips. He goes, great, what did you get? Sorry, where's my change? He goes, there isn't any change. He goes, what do you mean there's no change? He goes, well, I got this new jumper.
That's it.
And the guy
was it a t-shirt or something like that?
T-shirt or something.
T-shirt,
what the fuck do you mean you got this t-shirt? He goes, well, you said get what you want.
I mean, he's got a point.
Are you taking the piss?
To be fair, the apprentice has got a point.
Get what you want.
Got a new t-shirt.
That's about it. Go on.
No, sorry, a bit of a weird one, but once is a sandwich shop in Prestbury, and I thought it was a £5 for a tuna meat mayo sandwich. I thought, all right, well, at least I'll get a big sandwich out of it. And it was delicious, but it was literally like one of them cubes. You know, like a nouveau.
Oh, like a little...
Like what you'd get on a tray.
Yeah, like a tray,
like the smallest sandwich.
But it's like, I've never been so disappointed. But it was really tasty. I could have had like 10 of them.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
It's like a weird like.
That's a bit like when I
was dressed to be building gear. It's like, what did you expect?
when I order a coffee. I always say when I go to a coffee shop and there's all these fucking different things in front of you, and I panic. I go and I go Americano, right?
Or a
and I do it every
cappuccino,
time. No, I do it every time. I go Americano. And then I think, why the fuck have I ordered Americano, right? And they go, do you want milk? Well, yes, I want fucking milk with my coffee. So I get the milk, I put it in, and then I drink it, and I don't really ever like it, but I can feel the coffee hit. And then every time I do it, I go back, and whenever I go back, I think, I'm not going to order Americano this time.
You did it the other day.
I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to order Americano. And then they go, what would you like, sir? And I go, Americano, please. And I think, for fuck's sake, I've done it again.
Do you know, it's funny you mentioned that, because where we live, they knocked down the pub and they've built a petrol station and a Starbucks.
Nice.
Right, yeah. It's a good pub, that. It's all right, that pub.
You've got young kids, you've had young kids.
Yeah.
Young kids ask you loads of questions, like daily.
Yeah.
Constantly.
Yeah.
And the one question that my daughter got me the other day was, and it really like stressed me out.
What did she ask?
When we go to Starbucks, what's the first drink you're going to order?
And you're like,
I was like, you don't know the varieties of coffee.
yeah, there's so many.
And then she started going about, my friends have got these baby chinos and mini lattes and all this. I was thinking,
what? A dash of. I mean, he is a wonder.
Yeah.
He can. He knows.
Younger people are very good at it. Like they're very. In fact, they're very clinical with coffee orders, like Starbucks or Costa. They'll just go in and they'll go soy, oat milk, latte, special, regular sized, hot, temperature 37.5 degrees.
Yeah, you're like, are you a fucking
cappuccino?
And then the person behind goes, all right. They just get it.
Yeah.
but I mean,
I'm
not going to go against all that, like in terms of like the different varieties of coffee, but it's like something simple, like the Costa machine in Tesco's now don't sell. They don't do white or brown sugar.
Bastards.
You have to put it in the machine, and it has to be a syrup. It's not a sugar anymore.
Yeah,
it's
that's right. They do. They can't use coffee
get a
syrup
little
now.
Caramel
that's really interesting. That's like you go in Aldi now, and a lot of the soft drinks are sugar free, and you think, I just want fucking sugar.
Yeah.
I want full fat Coke. Yeah. Where is it?
Although I do like Coke Zero.
No. I like Coke Zero. Yeah.
God. KFC don't even do.
Yeah, exactly.
They just do diet.
Yeah.
Do they?
Like Coke Zero.
They sell. I mean, I love KFC, but they sell
no sugar drink.
Chicken shoved in fucking fat and grease, but they sell sugar free. They don't sell anything with sugar in.
I just want diabetes.
Yeah.
I want to be able
You're
to.
paying for it.
I'm paying for it,
You're
so let
paying
me
for
fucking
it.
have
Yeah.
diabetes.
You know those things you put on TikTok where you like headlines or whatever they
Yeah,
call them?
I just want diabetes.
I just want diabetes. That should be the episode.
That's the title of this episode.
That's a good one.
Episode 16. I just want diabetes.
You must have done 16 cream eggs.
17 in one day.
17.
Yeah.
It's coming up, your annual. Why don't you
Annual
do it?
17
Why don't you do
cream
it on
eggs in one day.
TikTok on the site cabin?
I don't know if I could do it now.
I think it's too old.
I was a younger man when I did that.
17 cream eggs.
I ate 17 cream eggs in
You
one
had less
day.
blood sugar.
Yeah.
Oh, you had more control of it.
And I know exactly why I did it. And what happened is because Sarah, my wife, bought me a newsagent sized box of cream eggs. So you know the ones that are on the counter that are fucking full. She bought me them. She was like, "There you go, so, there you go." And she counted them all out. Like, so like, oh, there's, I don't know. Let's just say there's 60 or something in there. And then she'd given me. And then they'd just been there all day on the side.
Just watching.
And throughout the day, I ate 17 in one day.
That's a lot of sugar.
That's ridiculous, isn't it? That is ridiculous.
It is a lot. Like,
That's
I mean,
like OD, that's like-
if I'm honest, after 3, I'm like,
I know. No, but it wasn't like binge, as in like in a row. It was just throughout
Snacking.
the day.
that's a lot though.
They were there looking at me.
17.
The shiny bluey kind of gold, yellow.
You could have blown out your pants.
You know what? I don't think you could do
Basically,
it now.
if you had 7 hours sleep, that's one every hour.
What do you mean?
So in
Yeah.
24 hours, you've had.
If you slept 7 hours, the 24 hour
Yeah.
period.
So- I see what you mean.
You've had one every hour.
Yeah.
I don't think. I think now that I felt this way about Roses and Cadbury Street at Christmas. The chocolate just doesn't seem. It
No,
just
totally
tastes
agree.
Something,
cheaper.
I think it's a bit
Totally
more,
agree.
and it's more sugary. It's gone more. I, think it's
I
gone
don't think,
more
I don't know if
sugary.
it's sugary. I think it's like sweeteners.
Oh, is it right?
Like fake sugar, basically.
Do you know what?
Like
It's
substitutes.
got a point
Which is
there.
probably
And it's
worse in
shrunk.
some ways.
I mean, I don't see this is a massive cliche, but it has.
And
It's shrunk.
It's only 5 to a pack instead of 6.
No, it is.
Yeah.
and it's in plastic. I don't like these metal ones. Should
What
come
was
back.
Dad had that bloke come up to him once in the supermarket. He sidled up to him, didn't he? Because he was looking at chocolate.
Yeah.
And the dad was like, "Oh, you don't want to be eating that." Remember him?
Oh, yeah.
He just
dark
had this
chocolate.
random
That
guy.
was so
He
funny.
gets these
I
random
remember
guys.
that. He came back and he
That's
went, some fucking bloke in Sainsbury's telling me what chocolate I should and shouldn't eat. I can remember
But
him
he
saying
kept saying,
that.
made him think though. It's like,
Yeah.
no, you want to eat the dark chocolate. It's like,
Yeah.
you're a salesman.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that. I think we're nearly at time. I think we've got a few more minutes. I don't know.
Well, I bet we've not done the list, have we? I bet we've only done about 3.
So I mean, we've got a couple of more minutes to go. Yeah. So, what was the list, Andy? Sorry, what do you mean?
No,
oh,
no,
the full list.
you always say you never do the list. You only do about 3
we're not.
things.
We've got loads left on the list.
We do a quick fire. We never do quick fire.
It's quick.
Well, quick fire. What, we all got our answer quickly.
All right, so one answer each.
Right.
Favorite pizza?
Tandoori chicken hot
Pizza?
from Domino's.
Okay, Andy?
A meat feast. Yeah.
Jack?
Meat feast.
It's the same, but with anchovies.
Yeah, Jack's very,
like
anchovies.
Yeah. What about you, Dave?
Okay, me. Thank you for asking, Andy, because no one ever fucking does. So thank you for that. Thank
Yeah,
you for
Daniel.
that.
I don't really like
American hot all day, but really hot.
American.
Really hot. How far are you willing to travel to a construction site?
Depends on the pay.
Good answer.
It's,
Good answer. How far?
beneath an hour. Less than an hour now.
One there and back. What? Half an hour each way, or
Yeah.
an hour there,
Yeah, you
an
know
hour
what?
back?
No, I'm sick of. I did too much of that last year. Yeah, half an hour there, half an hour back.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't
Jack.
want to do any more.
Well, probably because I just be in the office, so anywhere.
Yeah.
There was one I did last year where we had some sort of conference at Aintree.
one-off's a good one.
Yeah.
what's it? Yeah, and they did like a full dinner the whole day, like a full banquet.
Oh, I'll go with you.
Yeah.
Fucking office
Yeah.
boys. Office people get looked after, don't they? Don't they get looked
He
after?
didn't invite us,
nice.
did he?
Compared to
Yeah.
the construction guys.
Didn't
Yeah,
invite
the
us.
potatoes were a little dry. But
Yeah.
I mean, other than that,
Hardest trade in construction. Ooh. You can only say one.
Physically or mentally?
Great retort.
Yeah.
Both.
Oh, God, that's hard.
So, it's this.
Oh, God, that's hard.
Andy, hardest trade in construction.
Right, it's a wet trade, but it's a couple around it. But I'd say Brick Lane.
Okay.
Physically, 'cause it's outside. I mean,
Brick
ground
Lane's a
working
good
as well.
shout.
Ground working
Physically
slash
and
ground
mentally.
working.
Yeah.
Brick
Ground
Lane
work-
slash
Jack?
ground working.
the only one I've had any experience with is probably Brick Lane. And you are exposed to the elements.
I mean,
there a lot.
yeah.
Or maybe
I'm enjoying it,
roofing.
but I'm going to go physically and mentally. I'm going to go Brick Lane.
I'm going to say scaffolding. I think that's the hardest.
but-
Yeah.
I think that's the hardest.
Well, you got to think about the
You don't have to agree with me, obviously.
Anything-
I mean, actually, physically, you're just constantly.
Yeah, but
lifting that.
I think mentally as well
Yeah.
with Brick Lane, I just think there's something there, getting your gauges right. If it's wrong, it's a fucking mess.
One thing we've not mentioned, and we'll just mention it very quickly, but we'll probably talk about in the next episode, is we're considering doing a live TikTok gaming schedule where we just go on and game, because a lot of people have asked us for it, believe it or not, if we do some live gaming. So maybe me and Danny playing Call of Duty or Fortnite, or we can build in Fortnite, so we could build something if you want to do Fortnite.
Play Mario.
I do Mario.
We could do Mario, you know, yeah,
You can watch
whatever.
me play Woodoku, yeah.
Woodoku. I mean,
That'd be exciting.
can I just say on Woodoku, right? My best score is about 2,300. Andy's is about
9,200
ridiculous,
something.
Fucking ridiculous, embarrassing.
9,200.
Shout out to Woodoku.
No, I've got an amazing run. I've got this amazing run on it.
We've pretty much covered. Well, no, we haven't. We've not covered half of what we said we'd want to talk about, but that doesn't matter. That's pretty much it. I want to just say thank you all for coming today. New sort of studio. We never even talked about
We didn't say
No, I
mention
think
it.
they're a bit more. I like this.
the new
Yeah,
studio.
good.
Give us a bit more
Pi
space.
Records. Pi Records.
Pi Records, as always.
As
I mean,
always.
they're part of us.
Yeah.
We
Pi
are.
Radio, sorry,
we're,
Pi
we're
Radio.
like a symbiont. We live and Pi Radio live together as one. We're like a.
We're the filling in their pastry at the moment.
no,
pie, one type of pie.
I don't think we're that important to them.
No, they've got loads of pies. We're
I
just
think
one. We're a tangy pie.
We're like a little bit of an ingredient going into the pie.
I think.
Maybe like a little bit of salt.
No,
Pi
so they
Radio
do lots of different pies.
Pi
but we're
Radio
one
are
pie,
the
specific pie.
what do you dip? What do you dip? Pi Radio, yeah. Pi Radio are the Doritos,
They're the pie- they're the-
and
the big-
we're one of
the type of dips.
One of the dippings.
Yeah.
Like,
But that's not a pie.
Quite a spicy one though, I think.
Like the 4-pack you get, like one of those.
Yeah. We're one
think
of the Tex-Mex.
We're a specialty pie in their bakery. We're like a chicken.
I think
pie
one day
pie.
we'll get
I
Solomon
fucking
on.
love pies as well.
I love
do.
pies.
I love pies.
What's your favourite pie? Just
No,
before we go.
quick favourite pie, dead quick.
Steak and ale.
Steak and ale, meat pie. It's got to be. I love the jelly.
No, a proper.
God's sake. Holland's meat pie.
A proper jellied pork pie. Proper,
Pork
really
pie.
good pork pie.
Pork pie.
A big, like a proper pork pie.
Yeah, proper pork pie. I'm with you. Yeah, a man's pork pie.
An actual
with jelly in it.
shop in Marple.
Good thin pastry.
Listen, gonna have to stop us there because I think our time is up. Our time is up.
Right.
Thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for watching. Please tune in and see us on episode 16, which I'm really hopeful will be in, let's say, the next 6 weeks' time as a maximum. We're hoping for more guests this year. We're hoping we've got a bigger room, so bigger and sort of better things, I suppose.
A few more. Might have more guests on one per show.
Yeah, and I'm just going to leave it on one. I'll finish it on one thing. Is that it'll always be construction, but like today, and we've allowed ourselves today to go a bit further. We're going to open it up to, a bit of a male podcast, not men only, but being a man's podcast, as in like we might talk about this, that, the other. I don't know, whatever it might be. Who knows where it's going to end up? I've no idea. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.
Nice.